welcome back to another vlog. It is Wednesday. I have just gotten up. I quickly walked the dogs and made some coffee. And since they woke me up earlier than I normally wake up for work, we're gonna get some editing done on at least one video today. I think I can get our TBR lowdown episode for Monday up and exporting so that it can be posted. And then I've got 2 videos backlogged for you guys. What have I been reading? I feel like I've been reading a lot. Yesterday I had a surprise and I was off from work for weekly at Flex Down. So I just took myself like a nice relaxing day and I did my workout for my first workout for the week, which is great because I was having a hard time fitting it in because I just really couldn't do it on Monday and I don't want to do them back to back. So that was nice. I read some books. I did some laundry. I hung out with myself. I just spilled coffee on myself. It's not on the laptop, so that's all that matters. Yeah, I had a really nice day yesterday, kind of on my own, and now I have to go back to work. So I had to figure out a car read. I think I'm gonna deviate from Women in Translation for at least one drive, part of the drive to work, and listen to The Last White Man, because that book just sounds so fascinating, and Naomi read it, and the audiobook is super short, and I might even be able to read it in most of the first drive to work. And that's by Mohsin Hamid, and I've just been hearing really good things. And I never read East West or West East, but I do own it, so it'd be really nice to read this and then, or just listen to this, and then if I like it, I could maybe do his other title that I own at another time. I also have Phone Booth at the Edge of the World as well that I could listen to on the drive to work. I'll either start both of these today or I'll start one and see where I'm at. I did finish Violets, and that book was very quiet and it was really good. It was just a very quiet book. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a quietly powerful book. Our main character is just this very like internal person, and she's dealing with issues with her mom, something that happened with her feelings for another girl when she was younger. She's just kind of like observing life. She kind of just goes through life like on the breeze, and then she works in this flower shop and she meets this other girl that works in the flower shop, and she's much more like vivacious and lively, and that girl like kind of gets her out of her shell a little bit. She ends up meeting a man and sort of falling for him, but she's sort of disconnected with the world, that's like not really like a happy romance. It's a very interesting book, and a lot of like bad things happen to her. I wasn't expecting the trauma that occurs so late in the book to have occurred, but it did. So I feel like that's usually something that would happen in the beginning of a book to propel a story, not to like be the climax. But it was really, really, really good. And then I also read Lore Olympus Volume 2 last night because I just, guilty pleasure, love it. I started Childhood, Youth, and Dependency, and I read Childhood. It's good. I'm not like in love where I want to obsessively read it, if that makes any sense. It's a very good book. I liked the writing. Objectively, it's enjoyable, but for me, there's like a little something missing so far to make me just like not want to put it down. That's what's missing. The unput downableness. I love a good book that was like the Eighth Life, where you were just, I was just like, I have to know what happens in this story. I haven't gotten there yet. We'll see. Welcome to the start of a vlog. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is a wonderful day off. I have the house to myself, and I'm just trying to figure out my plan for the day. It's about 10:15. So I finished The Last White Man, which was really interesting. I do wish it was like a little less like, someone's reviews called it like vibes, and a little bit more like deep, but it was a really interesting thought exercise on like what would happen if the made up construct of dividing people by race was eliminated and everybody became a black person or just like a brown skinned person. Everybody became like the same color and it was the not white color. What would that do to society? And it was a really interesting exploration of how that might go down. I really did enjoy it, but I do wish it had been like, it's very short, it's a novella, so like I really wish it had been a little bit more fleshed out in the sense that like I wanted more from the story. Like I wanted to know more about the characters. I wanted to know more about like the riots and the white supremacy aspect of it and all the other stuff, but it was really good. And I don't think that that's a terrible criticism, that like a book was good, that I wanted more in that sense, that I wanted more because I wanted to spend more time with it. And then I finished The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World, which was fine. And I'm kind of disappointed because I had really high hopes for this book because everything I heard, it was supposed to be like a fantastic book about grief. And I feel like I have different books that I enjoy about grief. This one was maybe too simplistic and too almost like blurring the lines with a self-help guide, if that makes any sense. It was interesting, the concept of this phone, this thing that really doesn't exist at the edge of the world where you can whisper to your loved ones. There were moments where it was really pretty, this idea of like the words floating off into the ocean and being eaten by a fish, and there were things that were really lovely in it, so I can't say it's like a bad book, but I had been wanting more out of it, and I had been expecting a lot, so maybe I just went into it with too high hopes, and therefore I was disappointed. I don't know. It's not bad, it just wasn't the book that I had in my head, and so I was disappointed with my own expectations. Finally, I'm still reading Childhood Youth Dependency by Tove Divilson. I say her name wrong, but it's interesting. I'm still interested in it. I do enjoy her writing a little bit. I just don't know if this is maybe her story for me. And like, I kind of get like, so I guess some of the stuff I don't like is how all these things are happening in our main character's life. And because we're going it through the main character and because the character's so young, you're getting this really superficial level of understanding of what's happening around her. And I get that because you're in the eyes of a child. Like I don't expect her to have like a very, worldly adult response to or outlook on everything. But as a reader, I know that there's more depth to the things that are happening to her. And I want to know what those things are, like her relationships with all these people, the things that are happening, the situation she gets put in, the political landscape of Denmark at the time. And I get why the character can't give it to me, but I, as the reader, still want it. And it's just me aligning myself as the reader to the fact that I'm not going to get that, despite the fact that I want it. So I just have to like get out of that mindset. It's really hard for me because I really want it. I think I'm more used to like third person narrator than a first person narrator. So it's just different for me, and I am enjoying it, and I think I would read more from the author. We'll see how it ends up. I know that it's supposed to get like more heartbreaking throughout, so we'll see. But the writing is really good. I think that's it. I still am working on The Employees, which I will hopefully finish today. I have to mail a Pango order. I want to edit some videos. I do want to get some writing in today if I can. I have a video coming out today, so that's good. I don't have to tee anything up for this week. Like this week's done with videos, but I have to get next week's videos teed up. I'm off the weekend, which will help. And I did our TBR lowdown, like the big file edit. I did get a request in my comments, and you know who you are, to go back through all of my books that I'm reading, and I haven't filmed my notable reads yet. That's another thing I want to do today, is I want to film my notable reads. I will try to include even a very brief roundup of all the books that I read in the month of July. It's a lot of books. I'm not going through my shelves and holding them all up. I'm finding them and holding them up, but perhaps I can insert pictures of all of them for you guys and we'll go through them all. I don't know. I have to think about how I want to do that now because I do like to try to accommodate your requests on how I do videos, but I'm going to try. My answer to that comment is I will try. I'm going to try. If you've been here for a really long time, like 2 years ago, not last year's Nano, the year before's Nano, I attempted to write this like fantasy novel that I've had in my head, this sort of urban fantasy thing, and I got just shy of the 50,000 word mark, and then, I'm a nurse, it was COVID, it was crazy, so I didn't quite get to finish because I just had too many nights where I came home from work and just passed out, which is fine, and I think I got sick a few times. It was crazy. I've sort of not gotten back in that groove I honestly think when I had been on SSRIs, it was really like dampening my chaotic brain, but my chaotic brain is really creative, but my chaotic brain also makes me cry a lot. So I'm trying to figure out ways to like not need medication. I honestly think I have undiagnosed ADHD, and really that's my problem. But anywho, we can talk about women and the underdiagnosing of ADHD in another vlog. But since I've like kind of let the SSRIs go out of my system, and this is not to tell anybody to go off their medications. I did this with my doctor. Do not go off your medications unless you've been talking to your doctor and you do it appropriately. So now I'm starting to like get this creative mind back. And I don't know if you guys can notice it from like the content that's coming out. And like, I feel like I'm just like more on top of my stuff. I'm more motivated. I'm not as muted as a person in general. Like I have days where I am, but like I'm kind of okay. And so as long as I'm kind of okay and my doctor is watching me, I'm going to keep doing this. Sorry, I play with this light a lot because I feel like it should help, but it doesn't. So don't go off your medications unless you're doing it with your doctor and it's approved and yada, yada, yada. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. That is a long-winded way of me saying I've started to open that back up again and do some more like research, and it's like zero draft. It's really bad, but perhaps one day I will finish it. And then I also have two other sort of half-started projects and one other in my head still working it out projects. So I'm enjoying having my creativity back, but you know, we're all just making sure that like this is all going well. So if I have to go back on something, we'll go back on something. But for now, everything is good. That was a lot of sharing with people on the internet. Anyway, so I figured I'd change the scenery a little. You can see my plants. I have a tiny little like book haul and like thing haul, and then I do have to work out. So let's do this really quickly. So I ordered from Pango. Somebody was selling a copy of Dead Inside, and this just sounded like dark and twisted, and I kind of just I want to know what it's all about. Shadow is in here. Curious, huh? Anyhow, it says young hospital security guard with a disturbingly unique taste in women, a paternity doctor with a horrifically unusual appetite. When the two of them meet, they embark on a journey of self-discovery while shattering societal norms and engaging in destructively aberrant behavior as they unwittingly help each other understand a world in which neither of them seems to belong, and they begin to realize what it truly means to be alive and that it might not always be a good thing. And so, I don't know, the cover is half of it. It's short. It's a little like sort of horror-y book. It's supposed to be incredibly like messed up, but also somehow like compulsively readable. And I'm just really curious to see about what this is all about. If you've read Dead Inside, please let me know. I'm here for it. Also, Angry Robot sent me another book, and this is something I'm doing a tour for next month. And this is, I think this is coming out next month. This is called Full Immersion by Gemma Amor, and this is supposed to be really messed up. So it has a lot of trigger warnings, so look it up, but it sounded really good. So what can you do when you're reeling from a trauma, but you've tired it all? Counseling, yoga, pills, medication, art, healthy living. None of it makes a dent. What's left? Magpie is out of ideas. She's desperate enough to try anything. Just when she thinks her life can get no worse, she discovers herself, or rather her own dead body, partially buried in a mud bank of a river. A man stands by, a familiar stranger. What does he want, and why can't she remember getting here? Why can't she remember anything? Sorry, the dogs are all riled up because they saw another dog outside. Now they came in from their walk just like absolutely bonkers. Unbeknownst to her, two pairs of eyes watch from behind an observation screen in a room filled with computers and sensors. An experiment is unfolding, but is Magpie the subject or the practitioner? Reality becomes a slippery concept, and beyond the glass is something still worse, a hint of an outline shaped in darkness. Magpie realizes all too soon that her journey has transformed from healing to survival. She must become the hunter rather than the hunted, with her missing memories as prey. In turn, brutal, beautiful, and absolutely terrifying. Full Immersion is the latest speculative horror from Gemma Moore. This just sounds like the perfect fall read. I'm so like happy to be part of this book tour, and I'm so glad that Angry Robot reached out, and I'm really excited about this imprint. They do a lot of like horror, sci-fi, speculative fiction. They did The Cabinet that we had as a TBR lowdown pick. They did The The Maleficent 7, which was another TBR lowdown pick. I'm doing another book tour with them in a couple weeks in August for a different book that also sounds really, really good. That's more like fantasy based. And like, I'm really digging the weird and wonderful things that they publish in this imprint. So if you like weird and wonderful speculative fiction from like fantasy to sci-fi, because I feel like speculative fiction covers like a huge broad topic if you want it to. Anyway, we can have a debate in the comments about what is fantasy, what is speculative, what is sci-fi, but everything in that arena, children, I think they do some really interesting things. This little imprint that could. There's the books that it came, and then my Scentbird order came for the month, and I really like this one. It didn't this time. I didn't come with like the twisty tube, but that's fine. I have 2 of them, and my first one's almost used up, so this can slide in there. But I like the little paper tube, and this is English Laundry signature for her, and it's like the perfect amount of perfume because I'm not a signature scent person. I just want to keep trying things. This is what the real bottle looks like, and this is gonna have quince, jasmine, and musk. So it's actually like sweet, but it's not like sugary sweet. I sprayed it in the car. It's really nice, so I really like it. And I'm really digging Scentbird. I know this is like a mini ad for Scentbird, but it's not an ad. They don't pay me anything. But I'm really enjoying it. I think that they're good. You see them all over YouTube because like everybody and their mother who has like a largest channel has Scentbird sponsor them. So I think that they do a really good job. I'm enjoying it, and it's worth my money. I'm just rambling now. I'm gonna go work out. I want to say thank you to everybody who actually like follows along with the vlogs and the kind words that I've gotten here and there from people about just like me trying to be a healthier version of me. It's really nice. And I kind of am really appreciative of just the few of you that really watch these vlogs, because this is like quite a journey. And usually I bail out real fast on fitness and stuff because like I get injured or whatever. And it kind of feels like doing these and including these in the vlogs, even though sometimes I'm doing hip thrusters on the floor and I look funny or like I'm dying trying to do something because I'm just so weak and out of shape at this point and it seems like embarrassing. Putting this in the vlogs makes me be accountable to my workout because I feel like we're all working out together. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I just want to say thank you because I know this isn't bookish content, but this is part of my life and I'm trying to be better. And I'm slowly starting to see some changes, so that's really exciting.
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spreading in my mind, but I was all out of hope, lost in an endless maze. The emptiness had unfolded just like a void, but you broke the coldness somehow and lit up a flame. And ooh, I was done feeling hopeless, screamed out loud because it felt impossible in my bones, like getting blood out of a stone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn in my soul. You guided me out of the storm.
I can feel the sweat rolling down my butt. I just took this thing off. I have literally never seen so much sweat come off of my body in my entire life. Like never. Holy shit. I don't know if that's good or bad or if it's gonna do anything, but good Lord, I've never sweat so much in my whole life. I feel exactly the same as this dog post-workout. Yep, dead. Lucy, why do you always have to do creepy eyes every time? So I'm making myself some Impossible Nuggies because I have them, and I am debating on whether or not I try to write some now while Jesus isn't home. It's like 4 o'clock. Or read some more of Trust, or start editing videos. So much to do. I think I'm gonna have nuggies and shower, and then I'm gonna decide. I brought the computer down. I don't know, can you tell? Brought the computer down. I have a stack of books. I have a dog. I'm debating. I have so many books on this table. It's crazy trying to figure out what I'm reading, what I'm doing, what's next. Like, I feel like I feel like I'm just chaos. Constantly chaos. Okay, I have a really simple little cooking thing that I'll try to link for you guys if I remember. If I don't remember, remind me. But basically, it's a mug cake. It's a pretty big mug cake. But it's flourless. It's just banana, baking powder, peanut butter, and cacao. And I put a little bit of like leftover coffee in it too. But just to make it a wetter batter. I made it the other night. It's so stinking good. It's just like some random, there's this Instagram account that I just follow that has all these like vegan recipes, and they're so good, and they all look really good when they make them, especially this like German girl who like makes recipes on this account. I'm hungry because I worked out, and it's probably a little bit more than a quarter cup, but like, who cares? It's peanut butter. Peanut butter is like garlic. I measure it with my soul. Alright, so peanut butter, cacao, baking powder. Mix it all up. I use a little bit of the other thing for like 2 of these, I think. 2. And it's so good. And it's not that bad for you. I mean, it's got a ton of fat in it. It's so good, and it's not that bad for you in terms of like, it doesn't have a ton of sugar. You know, you've got the banana sugar, and that's really about it. As treats go, it's pretty decent as a treat. And it's freaking delicious. I don't like the consistency of the regular recipe, so I add a little bit of leftover coffee into the mix to just get it all kind of wet. And then you just microwave it for like 2 minutes. Obviously not in this vlog. But you microwave it for like 2 minutes. And it's delicious. I'll show you when it's done. It's so good. So we spritzy my little, and it's heart-shaped. Look how cute. It's heart-shaped. Spritzy, spritzy. It's just coconut oil. There's a lot of fat in this. I'm going to say that. But like, fat is not your enemy. In the microwave. And like, you could top it with berries or like chocolate sauce or whatever the heck you want. But I'm just going to use Cool Whip and some sprinkles because I'm a simple gal. So we have cake. Put a couple of these on. It's nice when the Cool Whip's like half frozen, but that's not where my Cool Whip, I'm having like a Family Guy moment. Be careful. But like, it cooks really nicely. Like, sometimes these things come out like really wet or very dry. It's like the perfect consistency. I'm gonna let that cool down and then I'm gonna eat it. Now, camera, you don't want to be crazy? You do want to be crazy? Hello. Happy, what day is it? Friday. It's Friday! And it's my last day of work for the week. I am on call tonight, so it's like not that exciting. Anyway, quick update. You guys got to see Mercy running around like a nutter this morning. She is crazy. I just finished Youth, and I'm definitely liking the book more as I read it. I think as our main character grows up, I connect better with the story. I think I already talked about, like, I think the thing that was hard for me is that she's not supposed to understand the world because she's so young, and that naivete is very authentic, but as a reader, like, I kind of like want more. But so it's good. There's moments that are really, really good. What I really liked is this part here she finally gets her poem published, or collection published, and she finally gets her like published copy of her books. And I just loved this little section. It says, maybe my book will be in libraries. Maybe a child who, in all secrecy, is fond of poetry will someday find it there, read the poems, and feel something from them, something that people around her don't understand. And that odd child doesn't know me at all. She won't think that I'm a living young girl who works, eats, and sleeps like other people, because I myself have never thought about that when I read books, when I read books as a child. I seldom remembered the names of those who wrote them. My book will be in the libraries, and maybe it will be in the windows of bookstores. 500 copies of it have been printed. They have given me 10. 490 people will buy it and read it. Maybe their families will read it too, and maybe they'll lend it out like Mr. Krogh lent out his books. I will wait to show the book to Vigo F. He's the editor. Until tomorrow. Tonight I want to be alone with it, because there is no one who really understands what a miracle it is for me. And I think that that's just, I feel like if you are an author, like that probably hits so hard in the understanding of like, probably every time a book gets published and you see it in its final copy, but also that first book that you ever published, holding that finished copy in your hand must be so surreal. So I really loved that little part, and that's right before dependency. So I feel like dependency is going to get a little dark. I'm not sure, but I'm liking it more. I get it. I want to read more from this author. I get why she's beloved. And I have a feeling that something else will be my favorite of hers. This is a good like gateway into her writing. Really my update for now. I'm off the weekend. I have to go to my mother's and pick up a bunch of stuff. And there's this really weird used bookstore that it's like packed to the gills. I think it's still there near my mom. So I don't think it's closed. In this like post pandemic world, like the big first couple waves, there have been so many businesses that have gone out of business or changed or whatever, but I think this is still there, this crazy little used bookstore. So I'm going to maybe try to stop there, but we'll see. Anyway, I have to go to work. I don't really want to work, but like when in any of these vlogs have I ever been like, you know what I want to do today, guys? I want to go to work. Never. I just get so happy at home doing all the things at home, and there's so many other things I want to be working on, but I can't work on them without my job. But then like I don't, but doing my job keeps me from doing other things. This is the struggle of adulthood. So this great TikTok that's like, I live in the hood. Adulthood. And it's ghetto as fuck. And that's the truth. Good morning. Good morning, Yoga. Watching my Jess. Eating some cereal. Quiet Saturday morning.
enough to like him. And although I tend to stay away from politics, like this is like highly political. I don't think people have joined the dots up here. And of the people who
I can't believe
should be asking like
that this actually
what I
happened.
thought and have you heard about this? Some of those people had called for the death of other authors. And I'm not I, the hypocrisy is absolutely audacious.
Also, I just found this guy like 3 days ago, and I think I love him
for
like a lot.
Point.
So, quick little update. I finished childhood youth dependency. I really did enjoy this. I think that it got better as it got further along, because as she ages, it just became easier for me to relate to her, which makes perfect sense because she's, shouldn't sound like an adult, but the voice shouldn't sound like an adult when she's, a small child. But it's really, really good. The end chapter, the end section, dependency, about her addiction was just so sad, but also like a little bit hopeful that, she was going to beat this monster that is a painkiller addiction, and it really does resonate with today, given the whole, fact that we're in like an opioid epidemic, but it happened for many years. So it's crazy how easy it is for her to get a hold of like things like Demerol and etc., methadone, all these things. And like she literally would just like write her own prescriptions, falsify prescriptions, and get drugs, which is crazy because like you couldn't imagine doing that today. Yeah, this was interesting. I really want to see what else she has written. I did enjoy her voice, her style of writing, all of that. So like I'm here with that. I'm here for that. And I briefly started Freshwater for Flowers, but I'm this far in, so I don't have a lot of things to say about this, but I will get back to this a little later today. I think I said in an earlier update that I wanted to get back to this thing that I started a couple nanos ago, and I did. So I've been reworking this prologue that was never really a written thing. It was like an old piece from something that I had started many, many years ago, and I sort of wanted to take pieces of that and then make it into this sort of fantasy duology that I want to work on. So I found some really nice little calming writing sprints online, and I'm about halfway through a session. I stopped because I was trying to, because I kind of finished the prologue in the first 2 writing sessions, and I want to kind of read what I've already written. So I was trying to set up the printer to print this off. So I have that printed off now, and I'm just going to spend the next 2 sessions really just getting back into this story and starting from like the beginning, and so I can get back into wherever I was when I was writing this originally, so that I can pick it back up and keep going, because I don't think I can like launch back in immediately at the end right now or in any of these other chapters and just like get it. I think I have to really start reading it and then I can get back into it. So I'm still kind of shocked about this whole Salman Rushdie thing. Like, it's just crazy. I don't think any author should ever be stabbed for their words. I think that that's insane. I wasn't aware of, like, Salman Rushdie is like a name that I know, and I know that there was the fatwa and there's like a whole like he's in hiding and all of that, but I wasn't aware of just how many people have died around him because of like different translators of his work, different publishers, etc., etc. So there's a lot of just craziness around it. It's just insane, and I hope that he ends up being well. God, this world is crazy. There's a real Debbie Downer moment. So I threw some like one chapter into Hemingway, the Hemingway editor, and it's like, it's good. It's a grade 3. Apparently, I write for small children. Gotta get that reading level up higher. I just filmed this clip for you guys, but the thing wasn't recording because I'm a doo-doo brain. So that answers my question. I have been busy reading this nano project I started 2 years ago to get back into the world and to start writing it again and maybe finish up the draft so I can actually make this happen. My thought is that this would be like a duology, sort of fantasy romance, urban fantasy romance, sort of in the new adult space, maybe the adult space, I'm not sure. Our characters are like 20 there's a lot of cursing because it's me, and that's a large portion of my vocabulary. But anyway, Naomi asked me a really important question. First of all, I told her I was doing this. She got really excited. She was like, I'm so happy you're doing this again and you're back to it. And secondly, she was like, so now that you're doing it again, you still like this, that you like this world, you like the story, you like what you were writing, you want to go back to it. And the answer is yes, I do. I actually, like, I wrote like 140 some odd pages of this story, and I really do like it. I think that it will be fun. There's moments that I'm cringe because it's really bad, but there's moments where I'm like, I can't believe I wrote that. It's so good. Like, I have a lot of self doubt about my ability to write anything because I feel like I was never like the really good writer in school, and I just always felt like everybody else was really good writers. Like, there's people from my school that are like famous authors now, and I make YouTube videos about books, and there's a lot of like imposter syndrome, I guess. So this is really fun to just do this. But I'm sad because in my head, like, my ultimate like dream editor is Katie Wismere, and like, she's just said in her most recent video that she's gonna start winding down some of her client work and doing less client work. And I'm like, but I love you, and I would love for you to like edit my works, but maybe one day. Anyway, I need to figure out why they're barking so much, so we're gonna go do that. And I'll pick this back up tomorrow because I was gonna maybe finish this chapter reading and marking it up, but if I can't remember to hit record, I do not have enough brain cells to do this. So put that down till tomorrow. You ready? So, nice books for picnics. You ready for picnics? The joy that is picnic. Don't bring the food and drink. We don't have anything. So. I told you this is a trip. Is a sweet life. Hey guys, we are back from our little journey to visit my mom and pick up some stuff, and we took a little detour to the town where I used to hang out when I was growing up, and we went to Pickwick's, which is this like crazy like hoarders bookstore. And we did pick up a few things. It's not like the best place for deals, but it's like a something you have to see, and you probably can hear the football game going in the back because apparently Real Madrid's playing, and that's what Jesus is doing. I just wrapped up the clip for Instagram for our TPR lowdown post tomorrow, and I'm gonna like settle in to probably sleep. I should work out today, but I'm so tired. The dogs did not let me sleep, so I'm exhausted. Like, I've had 3 hours of sleep, exhausted, and it's 5:30, and it feels like it's about 3 in the morning. Did want to show you the couple things I got at Pickwick's, and then just like wrap up the vlog and show you the distraction that I came home to from Mercy. So sorry that the lighting's a little bit poopy, but I'm too tired to get up and get the light. But I picked up a copy of Alias Grace. I know that like Margaret Atwood's finding many ways to possibly be a TERF. I don't know what she's doing, but I've been collecting her books for a while, buying them secondhand, so that I can finally find out what the fuss is all about with her as an author. So this is the first time I found a copy of Alias Grace that's not like not really $1,000, but like a ton of money. So, or a TV tie-in cover. So this is, I'm excited to read this. I did see it as a show, but I'm really excited to read it. at some point. And then I picked up The Face Maker, which I've had on my Libby holds for a really long time for the audiobook, but I just picked it up because I didn't realize it was like out. Oh, I knew it was out, but like I hadn't seen it in person yet. So like I saw it, it's beautiful, I have to read it. And this is about this one surgeon and his journey to do like facial reconstruction after the Great War, to like World War I, because a lot of these soldiers were coming back with all these like crazy facial wounds, just burns, all kinds of stuff, and sort of plastic surgery as we know it, facial reconstruction as we know it, was sort of developed in this post-war period, and this is supposed to be phenomenal. I picked up Pizza Girl by Jean Kyung Fraser because Naomi said that I would absolutely love this, and nobody talks about it that much. So, and I never really see it, and they had it, so I picked it up. I did pay full price for that one and for The Face Maker. And the other ones I did get used, so they were a little cheaper. I found this L.E. Modisette Jr. book that the fantasy was like super picked over. Well, the whole, I don't know if the photos, like the video showed you how difficult it is to really look for books in this place, but it was really hard to look for anything. And like half of the sci-fi section was like caved in. I'm not joking. It was caved in. So this was really the only thing I found that looked particularly interesting. It's book 2 in a series, and I need to get my hands on book 1. I need to see if I can thrift it because it's quite expensive on good old Amazon. But this is The Ghost of the Revelator. It's a trilogy, and it just sounds a little bit fun. It's a history. It's an intelligently executed melding of history and fantasy. I don't know. It just sounded fun and short. And then for October, I've seen this book around for a while, and I picked it up, and it's Kill Creek. I've heard some mixed reviews about this like horror thriller thing, but I'm kind of excited to read this in October. So that's everything I found in Pickwick's, which was kind of hard to find things, but found some things in Pickwick's. And when we got home, we found that Mercy was so mad that we were gone that she ate the book I'm reading. And this isn't even my book, this is my mother's book, so I now have to get my mom a new copy of Freshwater for Flowers. But for now, I'll just finish reading this copy and remember the day that Mercy was so mad I went book shopping. I think that's going to do it for this week's vlog. I'm too tired to make like a crazy outro, so if you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Like, go take a nap. Bye.
So just sit with me.